Oh my gosh. Hello. You remember back in December when I uploaded that Get Ready With Me on New Year's Eve? And I was like, I hate doing Get Ready With Me's, I'm terrible at them, but I want to challenge myself to do them more. I want to get good at them. It's the kind of content I want to make. Well, now here we are. It's May. It's like mid-May when I'm filming this. Don't know when it's going up. Hopefully as soon as possible. And here we are. We're doing a Get Ready With Me. This makeup look is also mostly going to be consisting of products that are my current favorites that I've just been reaching for over and over and over again throughout the spring, and will probably continue to reach for the duration of spring and throughout the summertime, if I had to guess. I've also kinda sorta updated some of my techniques in my makeup routine. So this is also that. Remember to subscribe, check out the description box for various links to what I'm doing on the internet, if you're into that. Or just all kinds of cool, fun, important stuff that I always link down there for you guys. Okay? Okay. Now let's just get right into this. Okay, so my skin is primed. This was the primer. This is a very good primer. Highly recommend. If you see it around, grab it. This is the e.l.f. Jelly Pop Dew Primer. It's been a favorite for a long time at this point, and it's been the primer I've been reaching for the absolute most in the last few months. On days when I actually bother to put makeup on my skin. I also applied a little bit of color corrector on my under eyes and on my little buddies that are up here, just to tone them down. They were not actually invited to the party, but it's fine. And I have my eyeshadow primer on. Anyway, let's get right into these eyes. This is gonna confuse anybody who came from my Instagram, but this is the palette I'm using today. Here's the thing. I'm loving colorful eyeshadow in general for spring and summer. I know, how revolutionary. So that's more of a broad category for me when it comes to talking about favorites when it comes to eyeshadow. I did do a pretty in-depth first impression review of this on my channel back when it first dropped. But I do have my updated thoughts on it on my Instagram in this highlight, if you want to check that out, because I feel a pretty different type of way about it now that I've had a number of months to get to know it better. While this formula in this particular palette, because apparently the formula in this palette is different from the usual Beauty Bay eyeshadow formula, which is really fucking weird. This formula in this palette is not my favorite, but I'm still gonna get my fair use out of it. I'm gonna make a point to do some damage to this thing over the next few months, because if this color story doesn't just scream, use me in the spring and summer, you know? Anyway, also with what's going on with my shirt, I want to basically do a look that's really playing off the colors, and I just love this shirt, okay? It's really giving me I'm ugly and I'm proud, you know? Also with my eyeshadow primer, I was not shy. I put it pretty much everywhere on the eye area. It's even a little bit on my lower lash line, because the way that I have changed my eyeshadow application includes doing my lower lash line before I put my base on. I know, how wild is that? We're gonna get into it. I am doing eyes first. I mentioned in this video, okay, that I wanted to experiment more with doing my base first, because I have struggles with eyeshadow. And I have been playing around with that. If I were doing a lighter eye and more of a skin-focused look, I would do my base first and build the eye on top of that. I think I want to do a different dedicated video showing you guys how I go about that. So for today, because the eye I'm envisioning is a little heavier, and I know fallout will probably be atrocious, we're doing our eyes before our base today. That's it. Okay, I'm starting out with the orange. I think I want the orange to be the star of the show here. I don't know yet if I want to put a shimmer on the lid or if I want this to be an all matte eye. We're gonna get there. Okay, so I think the main thing I want to talk about for today is that I got a job. I'm actually working again. This is my first like real job since the pandemic began. And there's been a lot of stuff that's come along with that. So that's pretty much the bulk of what I want to talk about today. Chiefly so you guys understand why I haven't been uploading as regularly and probably won't be uploading as much as I was before for a bit. It's not because I'm ditching this. I still love doing this. It's just because there's something else going on in my life that kind of demands more of my attention. So that's been the main thing that's been going on with me lately. I'm not going to say where I work, because given the nature of the internet, that seems like a terrible idea. And also, I don't know how keen they would be on me, like, mentioning that on my YouTube channel. Not like I would ever sit up here and, like, talk about what's going on at work or, like, drag my coworkers or anything like that, because that's just not what this channel is built for. That's not what I'm here for. But training at this job has been really interesting. That's what I've been doing for the last couple weeks, basically. And for much of it, I've been recovering from the second dose of my Pfizer vaccine. I'm fully vaccinated now. That's the other thing. I wanted to update you guys on that. My official, 2 weeks post-second dose was actually just a couple of days ago, so I'm officially fully vaccinated, which is very exciting. I'm pretty stoked about that. Anyway, that's been most of my last couple weeks, is navigating a new job, training at a new job, surrounded by people, while I'm recovering from that second dose, because holy fuck, does that second dose hit different. Don't let that scare you away from getting it, though, please. If you've had your first dose, please get your second dose. So that's been fun. And also, for much of my training, I've been sleep deprived. Actually. And my anxiety just been spiking, through the roof, out of nowhere, over nothing. Well, it's not over nothing, because, like I mentioned, this is my first, real job since entering quarantine over a year ago. And to kind of go from 14 months, that actually blended out really nicely. To go from avoiding any humans that don't live in your house for 14 months to suddenly being surrounded by strangers in an environment that you're not really comfortable in, and trying to learn a bunch of stuff and while you're meeting a bunch of new people at the same time. It was a little overwhelming. My anxiety's just I've been going through the motions. It's definitely, I think that's the main reason why my sleep pattern got so fucked. There were moments when I was like, they're literally getting the worst first impression of me right now, because I was low-key internally a basket case and trying not to show it, and my brain was having a hard time retaining information, and I was just not in my best form is what I'm getting at. Anyway, it's better now. But yeah, there was some rough time in there when I was literally desperate for sleep. We've got that figured out now, I think, for the most part. And I think eventually my schedule's actually going to change, and they're going to want me mostly working at night, which would be great, considering. I want to do a matte blue inner corner, because this kind of powder blue, this is a little deeper than this blue. This is very pastel. But the vibe is there, so I'm going to do a matte blue inner corner with my orange eye. Anyway, that's been fun. I kind of feel like I'm finally getting my footing in this new job, which is super fun. That's not pigmented enough. So pretty stoked about that. Rejoining the world has been, that basically looks white. I don't think this plan is gonna work. We'll see. I'm gonna keep trying to build it up. Rejoining the world has been such a trip, man, because I kind of had an idea at some point in quarantine. I was like, yeah, I'm gonna be kind of a mess trying to, like, re-entering humanity. That's gonna be weird, no matter how you spin it after the year everybody's been through. But I didn't really realize until I started working again how non-functional I am. You know what? Fuck this idea, because the shadow's not doing what I want it to, but I have to balance it out on the other eye anyway, and then I'm gonna dip into a shimmer and try to fix this. Anyway, back to how non-functional I am. I barely know how to speak to people anymore. That's not true. I'm still pretty good at it, but there have just been moments, okay? And it's some awkward moments that make me overthink everything. I'm gonna put this purple on my lower lash line and kind of wing it into this orange. Hopefully that works. It's been fun. It's been fun being around people again. Okay, now what to do? That's fine. I am now going to take, I guess, the shade Aura. This kind of more peachy, pinky shimmer. The thing about these shimmers that's kind of annoying is, like, you really kind of absolutely have to press them on with your finger. They're very difficult to work with a brush. That's not always how I like to apply my shimmers, you know? In fact, more often than not now, I literally pop my shimmers on with a brush on top of some glitter glue. What a revelation. Here's something that hasn't changed. Born to Glow foundation. I still have 2 bottles of it I'm working through. It's still a fan-fucking-tastic foundation. Would highly recommend. Today I'm using the shade. Did I grab the right shade? Light Porcelain. Yes, I'm using Light Porcelain. I'm gonna this is a very glowy foundation, so I'm gonna dampen my sponge with a mattifying setting spray. And I'm gonna kind of pick it up, kind of pounce it around with the butt of the sponge, kind of press it in the center, and then I'm going to use the angled, the one side of the sponge to blend that out, so I can really get more precise with my blending, especially around the corners of the nose and like the under eye area. I'm taking it up onto the under eye, but I'm not bringing it right up along that shadow, because I'm actually going to go in with a brush in a second, so I can get some real precise blending going on up there. So yeah, fully vaxxed, new job, and I'm ready for Shot Girl Summer, man. This would be the part where I sit up here and tell you, if you are hesitant to get vaccinated, to just do it. I don't want to be presumptuous. I don't know your medical history, fucking whatever. But if you are capable of getting vaccinated, I highly suggest you do. If you're hesitant for whatever reason, I mean, okay, fine. Just, you know, obviously research, listen to scientists, like real scientists, and, you know, just really think about it. You know, just really think about it. You know, I want you to consider all your options, you know. So I have a little bit of the foundation left on the back of my hand. I'm going to pick it up with this itty bitty little concealer brush and just kind of get right under, like in this area where my dark circles are the most prominent. Blend along the edge of that eyeshadow. It'll also give me an opportunity to clean up this wing a little bit. And then I will kind of take my sponge again and just kind of very lightly go over that so that it's a better blend, because that brush is great for application, not for blending. So I'm just kind of trying to smooth everything out. That line is a little harsh now, so I'm going to go back in with the brush I used to apply that purple. Just kind of very lightly go over that area, like so. And then I'll take this fluffy brush that I used with this peachy shade and run right all along this edge. And in a way, this is kind of just setting our under eye area, so I won't feel a need to go in with as much powder. Doing my eyes this way, like doing my lower lash line before my base, actually helps to ensure that I'm not putting too much product on my under eye area. So, which I'm a big fan of. I don't like putting a lot of product under there. I feel like it accentuates a lot of the texture I have on my under eyes, so this works for me. I'm still using this. It's a great contour, but I'm doing it differently. So you saw before I would have like straight up drawn with this on my face, on my contour lines before foundation. Now I'm going in after foundation, and I'm just gonna go in with like feather light pressure with this little guy. So I'm picking up the contour on the brush, and I'm kind of just hitting hollows of my cheeks. So yeah, this is how I've been contouring my face. I always use this Fenty Matchstick. The shade I use is Amber. It's just like the perfect contouring shade for me. And I much prefer now the way that my contour looks with this technique versus the way I was doing it before, when I would literally like draw with this on my face like it was a magic marker and like blend it out with my sponge. Okay, so I basically set my face. If you were here for my last base tutorial, you know the drill. I basically used a combination of a blotting powder, also a glowy finishing powder. The finishing powders and the bronzer I actually have on, by the way, are from a face palette from a brand that I don't want to promote on my channel because they are dusty. But god damn it, I have two face palettes from them that were wildly, ludicrously expensive, and the quality of the products inside is still so beautiful. So I went ahead and did that off camera. You probably know what face palette I'm talking about because I'm sure that while I was contouring, it floated into the frame a few times, maybe most of the time, because I wasn't paying attention. Because I was using the mirror inside that palette while I was contouring my face. Like a dumb idiot. Anyway, you might have seen it. If you did, pretend you didn't. And we just won't speak their name here until they have an attitude adjustment, hopefully, eventually. Why can't brands just not be trash? Anyway, now we're going to blush up this face. Any and all blushes that I own, really, during the spring and summer in particular, get fair use. I'm a blush fiend. I don't really have a particular favorite formulation of blush. I love liquid, cream, powder, matte, glowy, all of it. But the go-to combo for me recently has been a shade of blush from the Fairy Blush palette from Likely Makeup, the shade Sunstone. Looks super peachy, but is actually like a true, I don't know about neutral, it's pretty warm on me, but it's like a true peachy pink. Like there's just enough pink in the shade that makes it work for me because peachy tones are not usually my jam, but this guy works beautifully. And just the formulation of these blushes actually is so beautiful. They are matte blushes. Matte is not typically what I go for, but something about these, they almost have the effect of a pressed kind of setting powder in that they don't look matte or powdery on the skin. They look very skin-like. They blend just like a dream, okay? And they almost have like a smoothing effect. I swear, they have like a smoothing effect on the skin. So this is really just a beautiful, dreamy blush formula. Would highly recommend. Sometimes I like to mix Sunstone and Rose Quartz, but for the most part lately, I've just been going in with Sunstone because we're actually going to go in with another blush over top in a minute here. Like I said, blush fiend. I layer my blushes like nobody's business. I just love it. And I love over blushing because for one thing, when I'm filming, I have to because it takes putting on a lot of blush for the color to kind of show true to form on camera. But also, and I've said this before and I'll keep saying it, don't be afraid to apply too much blush because for whatever reason, with a lot of people, blush is the first thing to fade off of the face after you've done your makeup. So I'm a big fan of over applying blush generally. But I like dramatic blush, like lately, what I'm about to show you. A real dramatic statement, like draped blush kind of look. That's just what I'm loving. So I'm gonna really hit the highest point of my cheekbone up into the temple area, like right around out here where this eyeshadow is winged out, and not even be shy. I'm even kind of blending it in toward the under eye area because that's just what I like. You do not have to blush your face the way that I do. This is just what I've been digging, dude. See that? Oof. Love that. Love that for me. I'm even kind of taking it over top of where I put the bronzer on my forehead, just to kind of make sure all our tones are blending together. It's funny because I think for a lot of people it was the case that like we all avoided wearing blush. Like we were all like, that's not a necessary step. Like I remember a time in my life when I never would have put blush on my face, and now it's like my favorite step. Like I just can't go without blush now. If you were to ask me, and this might be a hot take, if I could only keep one between like bronzer, blush, and highlight, I would keep blush. I would ditch bronzer and highlight and only wear blush forever because there's so much to work with in terms of blush. I could find blushes in a bronzery tone that I could work with if I want a sun-kissed look. And there's so many different finishes. If I want my cheeks to be glowy, there are glowy finishes of blush on the market now. I just feel like it's so much more flexible and versatile than bronzer or highlight are. Like there's only certain tones of bronzer and certain tones of highlight that are actually flattering on my skin tone. There's not as much room to play there. So if it came down to it, I would get rid of them both and just experiment with blush all the time. I'm even gonna take a little bit and hit the tip of my nose. Sometimes I kind of go across the bridge of my nose. It just depends on how I'm feeling that day. I will blush my face a bunch of different ways, but I really like the like high up placement in here, right? And kind of onto the forehead for that almost I like to apply blush until it looks like I have a sunburn. That's it. And I like hitting the tip of my nose when I do this because it gives me that little fairy look. I'm gonna get most of the pigment off on there and then kind of hit my chin. Okay, a little hint of a rosy chin, just so that I want the whole face to tie together. You know what I mean? And I'm even gonna take it kind of down my neck because I think it's kind of weird when you have, if you put blush on the way I do, when you have a bunch of blush all over your face like this and then your neck is just kind of like plain. Like I kind of want that rosy, flushed vibe all over, you know? Now, that's not it. We're not stopping there. But the next blush we're going in with, this is going to be a little different. I'm using Melt Cosmetics Blush Light in the shade Nevermore. This has been my go-to combo. Like there have been a couple of looks I posted to Instagram now where I was wearing that fairy blush shade with a little bit of this guy over top. He's still broken. I still haven't repressed him. I'm the worst. Just been so lazy, you know? So I'm just gonna gently, so gently kind of tap into it like that. Oh, goodness. Oh, goodness. Tap it off like so. I might have tapped it off too much. And I'm going to hit the highest points of my cheekbones first. Kind of blend all over that area. It just adds an extra kind of rosiness. The reason why I love the blush light so much, like here's the thing. If we're living in the world where I can only use blush forever because I got rid of bronzer and highlight for my routine, the blush lights from Melt are a good enough evidence that that would work out for me because these are just gorgeous. They give the cheeks such a natural kind of luminous glow. So I could use it as a topper like I am now, or use it on its own when it's not a shattered mess. It doesn't make your skin look super highlighted. It just looks, it's beautiful. It's a beautiful finish. And I really like the kind of connecting the blush to the eyeshadow look. I didn't do that too much because with this formula, I know if I blend these pigments too much, they will fade away into nothing and be a pain in my ass. So we didn't do that so much today, but the vibe is there. And now for lashes, I'm just gonna pop on some mascara. For the upper lashes, I know I'm using this guy. I got the cutest little itty bitty free sample of the Bite Beauty Upswing Mascara, and this formula, I'm actually really impressed. I like this a lot. If the Kush mascara for Milk is like the mascara I reach for on a dramatic lash day when I want the voluminous, almost kind of chunky on purpose lash, and the Fenty Beauty mascara is just my all-around perfect mascara formula, like perfect my lashes but better mascara, this is somewhere in between, which I love. I love that for me. I think I will definitely be purchasing this for myself at some point. Ooh, here's something fun and new, actually. So you guys know, if you were here when I did my in-depth eyeshadow tutorial, was it around this time last year? Close to it. We're getting there. It's genuinely hilarious to me that I sat down to film an in-depth tutorial on how I did my eyeshadow at the time, and then proceeded to do the worst eye look I've ever done on camera. It's really fascinating. I don't know, I think at that time I was just going through a phase where I couldn't do eyeshadow. It happens. There are some days when you wake up and no matter how hard you try, you can't do makeup. It's fine. It's fine. Normalize it. But anyway, I'm gonna have to do an updated eyeshadow blending tutorial at some point so I can delete that video and pretend it never happened. But if you were here for that video, you know that usually I wait to curl my lashes until after I've set my face. I actually do some curling before now. So now I'm gonna use a mattifying spray down the center of my face and a hydrating spray around the perimeters of my face like I did in that video. That part hasn't really changed. Do I have any splotches that need blending? I don't see any. Okay, we're gonna move on. Now I'm gonna curl my lashes a little bit now that they're kind of damp from that spray. I just kind of found that my setting spray trick wasn't working as well for me as it had been before. My lashes also go through phases, so maybe they'll switch back at some point. But I kind of find that to help my lashes keep a curl, curling them a little bit before and after the setting spray step is optimal. I generally recommend doing setting spray before your mascara anyway, just so that you don't wind up with wet mascara all over your face. I do really enjoy this formula a lot, which is good. I wanted it to be good. When they announced it, I was like, ooh, I want that to be good. And I was very excited to try it out, so yay! Now the thing about this though, and this is why Fenty stays in like #1 spot on the mascara list for me always, like, it's because of the shape of the wand. It makes it really good for applying mascara not just to the upper lashes but the lower lashes as well. So I find often, even if I reach for a mascara that's not the Fenty one for my upper lashes, that I still go and grab the Fenty one to apply it to my lower lash line. So I'm gonna grab the Fenty mascara in the shade Miss Merlot. It's basically like a deep kind of wine red, because I think it'll look nice with our purple lower lash line. Oh, I forgot to brush my eyebrows. Hang on. This is a mandatory step for me, because my eyebrows are a little wild, but I don't feel a need to use product in them, ever. So I'm literally just brushing them with a dry spoolie and calling it a day, and then we will finish off with our lips. Just had to take a minute to deal with my camera battery dying and needing to replace that. And then when I stood up, I realized, you know, I kind of have to pee. So I went and did that, and now we're back, and my cat has snuck into the room. So if you hear him making noises, it's just Nigel. It's okay. Now the only thing left to do is the lips. Just because I'm stubborn, before I finish off with the lips, I'm going to try to make this matte blue work on our inner corner again, just to at least brighten that area up, even if it doesn't look blue. It's a light eyeshadow shade. I do like a matte inner corner highlight, not gonna lie. I'm a big fan of that. It's not having a very good time trying to blend with these other shades, but it's fine. That's fine. Anyway, let's move on to lips. I have two lip techniques that I've been doing the absolute most. There's one that I do when I need a real laid back, low maintenance lip, but I still want to feel like I did a little something. And then there are also days when I literally just throw on a lip gloss and call it a day. Today I'm gonna go all out and show you like my very glam, like Bratz doll lip that I like to do. Full disclosure, credit where credit is due. I got this technique from Kali Ledger. She did a little reel on her Instagram where she showed me how to do it. Hi Nige, my cat just came at me out of nowhere. Follow her. She's great and super talented. Also subscribe to her YouTube channel. I'll link that down below. Anyway, it's not the exact technique that she did that I'm about to show you, so it's worth going to watch that and following her and learning many fun things from her. I basically do a little bit of tweaking to suit my own kind of how I like to do my lips. But the bulk of what I'm about to do, I learned from her, and so I wanted to make sure I mentioned that. I wanted to zoom you guys in so you get all the detail on what's about to happen, because there's actually a lot of defining that's about to go down. Let me get as much of the chalkiness off of my lips as possible. I forgot to do my little lip serum, my lip prep thing that I usually do after I powder my face, but it's fine. First and foremost, I'm going to take a light kind of taupey nude brown lip liner. This basically perfectly matches. Oh, honey, do you want to go out? I looked over and he was literally like standing on his hind legs reaching for my doorknob like, let me out. Okay, honey, you can go out. Anyway, this shade pretty much perfectly matches the cream contouring shade I used on my face earlier. So I'm going to use it to do some lip contouring. It's basically like I'm kind of gonna overline my lips literally just in the center, but not really. Because what I'm really doing is I'm just accentuating the natural fullness of my lips. So I just kind of really want to accentuate the natural kind of ridge that I have going on just above there. So I'm literally going to kind of trace the outline of my Cupid's bow and even kind of take it over, like so. And then I'm going to kind of take my finger and blend it out, and that's what makes it look like a shadow. You could use a sponge if you wanted to. I don't really feel like it's necessary. You tap it out with your finger and it blends away pretty effortlessly. I'm gonna do basically the same thing right underneath the lip line on my lower lip, just right in the center, and kind of curving it upward. But I have a pretty intense natural shadow underneath my lower lip because my lower lip is a little bit more plump than my upper lip. So I'm basically just tracing that and kind of bringing it up on either side. Now I'm going to take a deeper, more chocolatey brown lip liner, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to follow the line of my lower lip, literally just like that, just trace that line. And I'm not going to fill in the corners, but on my upper lip, I'm just going to fill in each corner and not line the whole thing. So, and then I might kind of do a little bit of this, which is probably kind of cheating. She didn't do that in her video, but I'm going to kind of tap around the edges just to kind of soften everything up. And then the lip gloss I'm going to wear is just the lip gloss that I always wear when I wear this blush combo. Because much like the blushes I have on, okay, this is important to me, the gloss here, I'm using the Lunar Beauty Gloss in the shade Dreamy. This gloss is the perfect mix of peach and pink tones. It's just beautiful. And the formula is just beautiful. And this just pairs really beautifully with my blush combo of choice lately. So this is just, I got it on my carpet. Oh well, this has just been the lip I've been doing with this blush, like no matter what my eyes look like, because this gloss pairs really well with both cool and warm tone shadow as well. So this has just been my favorite This has been the gloss I've been reaching for over and over and over again. And I'm just gonna, also, by the way, if you were wearing highlighter, you would probably feel a need to highlight your Cupid's bow. When I wear highlighter, I like an intense Cupid's bow highlight, and that works really well with this lip contouring technique. I'm not wearing highlight today. I just have my glowy blush situation, so we're not doing that today. But I'm just gonna smother my lips in lip gloss now, and it's gonna be fine. I'm almost kind of using the applicator to blend out our contour, just very softly, as I apply our gloss. Ta-da! It's a little bit more, it's more steps, it's a little bit more high maintenance for a lip routine because, you know, all the contouring and stuff, but this is the way I've been liking to do my lips the most lately, because when I have the time to do really glam makeup, I want a really glam lip. So yeah. Anyway, thanks for coming to hang out and get ready with me for no reason. I mostly wanted to let you guys know that I am working now. It's not a full-time position as of yet, but I can't commit to an upload schedule until I know for sure what my work schedule is like, and my work schedule is ever changing as of right now. But I also want to keep doing this because I love doing this. It's just, at this time, I'm not capable of doing it like full-time to the level that I was for a while there. But I'm gonna keep trying to upload fairly regularly. Again, if you don't already follow my Instagram, consider doing that. I've been staying pretty regular over there. Regular. Yeah, I just kind of wanted to update you guys on some stuff and, you know, check in. Let me know in the comments down below what you've been up to. How are you doing? I'm genuinely interested. What are your plans for Shot Girl Summer? Tell me. I don't have any. I want ideas. Anyway, I thank you guys so much for watching. Again, be sure to like and subscribe before you leave. Check out the description box before you go. Thank you so much for being here. I hope that you and your loved ones are doing great and staying safe and healthy. Be kind to others. Be good to yourself. And I'll see you back here for the next one, whenever that goes up. Yeah. Bye, guys. My skin is primed. This hair. Fucking really? What the fuck is going on? Okay, anyway. Are you gonna build? It's kind of patchy on this side. It's kind of patchy on both sides. Okay, anyway. I want to wipe this foundation off my fucking lips. How did I wind up? Does that look more absurd on camera? I don't have my glasses on. In person, it looks fine. It's not a full-time position as of yet. Hang on, I'm adjusting. Let me get you guys. Zoom back out. Not that much.